Hi, welcome to my studio. Art by Mojo. This is part 2 on the giraffe scene that I'm working on. So I started putting in the detail around the ears and the head, and I realized this is such a small drawing as opposed to a regular portrait that I need to go ahead and do my background. And I don't normally do the background first because your hand will lay in it and get pastel all over you. But I started the background and I thought, well, I'm going to show you how I put a background in. So first I used the soft tool to get in close to the head between the ears. And I grabbed a little bit of the pastel, the orange there, but that's okay. I blended it away. But you want all this background color to be gone. This is a very dark gray. I'll lift this up for just a second so you can see. It's a dark gray down there at the bottom. And so you want to make sure you've covered all the grain, if you will, of the pastel paper with your color. You don't want any kind of highlights or silhouettes around your drawing. And again, I'm blending my colors on here. I'm using a deep blue and a white together. And I'll go in close with the tool. And then the best blending is, this is a makeup sponge. And it's, I purchased this at the Dollar Tree. But it will blend everything nicely when you go over it. And I also use the Pan Pastel blending. It looks white when you're putting it on there, but it blends the two colors together. You see how nice that makes it as compared to this area. So I'm gonna do that. This is going to be a little short video. I'm not going to worry too much about the bottom down here. I want it to be a little bit darker. I'll switch over to my soft tool. Pick up some pastel. I'm going, you can see I've almost totally erased the baby's little ears, but we can put them back in. I don't want a dark line around him, nor do I want a light line around him. So I'm going to have to add a little bit, not a lot, but a little bit of white on here. Just going to go totally over those ears. It makes it a little bit easier. Okay. Now you saw the sponge, the makeup sponge. Like, you can order these from Soft Tool also. They carry them and they work just about the same as this one does. They're shaped a little bit different. They're more like that. They don't have this handle on the end. I do like that to hold on to. Again, I got this one at the Dollar Tree. But now you've seen me go over this with this sponge. And now I want to show you, I've shown you this before, but I love these little brushes. These are makeup brushes that I ordered on Amazon. And I can go right in near the giraffe. I actually try to overlap my pastel just a little bit, because if you don't, you'll have this little space. And you see I touched the orange right there, so I'm gonna add a little more blue. You don't want a space between your image and the background, because if you do, it looks fake. it doesn't look real at all. And I like to do this because it pushes that pastel just deep into the crevices of this pastel matte paper. And I don't really have a picture that I'm going by as far as the background. I just am creating what I see in my head. And what I'm wanting it to look like is that they're in an opening, maybe near water. Use your imagination, and there's some grass around them instead of them being in the cages that were in this picture. Okay, to me that looks pretty good. I can critique it a little bit later if I need to. I like to do this in little circles. And these brushes come in all different sizes, down to one about half this size. But this one's working great for this. Like I said, this is a small pastel matte piece of paper. This is a 9 by 12. It's not tiny, but it's small for this type of group. Okay, when I get done with that, I again use my little vacuum and get the excess. Okay. And to clean this brush, you just wipe it on your microfiber towel. Like so, and you're good to go. You can also do the sponge the same way, but I'm going to show you this. You see how much it gets on there? It still don't look like it's off. Sometimes I'll use these 3 or 4 times, and then I wash them. I just put soap in them and keep squeezing until there's no soap. But you can just wipe it on the towel for the time being, and then you can use it again on another project. Okay, I'm gonna leave this towel laying here, actually more right there, so I don't get my arm in that. And I'm gonna start, you usually wanna start with what's in the back and come forward. So this back ear, let me move my, I've got 2 or 3 pictures here. One's of just a big head of a giraffe so I can see it. And you can fold your, and this is on very inexpensive photo paper. But just to get that a little closer. Okay. As I was saying, you need to work on what's in the back. So the back ear is furthest back. And I'm gonna put, this is Carbothello. I'm sorry, I can't tell you the number because I've worn it off. I don't like telling numbers anyway because you need to use what you see in your creative eye. I'm gonna put a little, that's a pale yellow. And then these are paper stumps. I use one for light, one for dark. And I'm gonna have to use my vacuum again. Okay. Now that ear is basically white, but I want just the slight indication that a little bit of that fur is sticking up into the sky, like that. And this ear had almost finished when I realized I should put the background in. Doing the same thing around it. I may have to do this again on this ear, down around the dark part right there. Okay, and then we're gonna start up. I don't want to slide this, but up here. And these little things that look like push pins are magnets. I have a magnet board under here. It's made on a piece of 1/4 inch plywood. I'm going to put my darker color in first. You can see this giraffe's mane is fairly dark. Here in this picture, you can see a lot of oranges, but you can also see this dark through it. I'll have to raise this end of the tape up now that I've got the sky on there. Well, if I can get it up. Like I said, I've never used tape before. This is a new experience for me. And that's okay. I'm just trying to share what I've learned, what I know. Okay. There we go. And I'm rotating my pencil. This is a, let me turn it over. You can see it's pastel number 032. These are a little bit thicker than the normal. You can see. The thing I like about them is they have a rich color, but sometimes they have a little grainy attitude to them that I don't like. So I don't have many of these. There's no rhyme or reason to this part right here. Like I said, you can see how blurry this is. I'm mainly having to look at this to know how to do it. See where I had to overlap that white a little bit right there. That gives it the perspective that this is a real creature back here. Okay, now I have a lot of different type of pastels. I have not as many as a lot of people, but have a few different ones. Carbothello, I love. They're a soft pastel. We're not going to use blue right now. And we're not going to use Carbothello. This is a Carbothello. The white's a Carbothello. But you can't sharpen Carbothello to the point that I need for this tiny painting. This is a General's Pastel Chalk. It will sharpen to a very fine point, as you can see by this one. Also using pits, they will sharpen really well. Not as sharp, or not with my sharpener, not as sharp as the Generals will. But we're going to put multiple layers, and this one you can barely see. But it's a little bit different from the one I already applied. Okay, then we need some orange. Let's see if this one, and I can't tell by looking at even the larger print that the hairs of the fur are in a direction or not. I would assume they're going down the body as most animals do, so that's what we're going to do. These two are just not two really sharp pictures, but like I said, I just love the mother leaning over to the baby. So I'm just going to do the hair in the direction. I applied the pastel pans in the direction the fur would go as much as I could on this. I usually do it completely in that direction, but Like I said before, this is so little. This may be the smallest proportion piece I've ever done. This photo shows that the whole splotches of dark color are dark, but you can see in the bigger one that there are more than one color. So we're gonna add lots of colors. Just gonna do a few of these. I don't want you to get bored watching it, because this is a slow process. Put a layer, apply another layer. If you have the grainy look of your pastel, you can simply touch it and you'll get a little on your finger, but you can put it on here and it'll take that grain off. If this was a smooth animal like a sea turtle or a, you know, an otter or something like that, I would use my stumps to smooth down the grain. This one's for dark, so you could go over the dark like this. Sometimes I use the stump, if you can see this, to drag out the color a little, which I think makes it look just a little bit more realistic. I have one I use for light, and watch what happens this ear when I use it. It's gotten just a little bit dirty, so it made it look like it had another layer on there. Okay, I'm gonna do, let's try this. Oh, that's nice. See the fine lines that you can do with these generals because they'll sharpen so good. So far I've applied 3 colors to this one square, and I'm leaving the dark on the outside edge a little bit. And then probably my favorite pastels of all are the Derwent. And I don't know why this one's sharpened crooked, but I'll have to look at my sharpener. This is for the dividers between the brown splotches. I don't know what you call it. I hope I make y'all laugh every now and then. Life's too short to be so serious. I love doing art, and I just want to share what I'm learning with you. Okay, now we're going to go back to this square. Again, I'm taking the hair down the body from head to toe. Head to toe, always go head to toe. And on most things, when I draw them, I start at the bottom of the image. I'll do the eye first. Like if I'm doing a dog portrait, and I'll start at the bottom and work my way up so that all the fur, each little strand is laying in the right direction. The only thing I dislike about doing this size so far is that you can't make the eye very detailed. It just won't work. I'm going to use a 4th up here because that upper edge of the fur against the mane, if you look at the bigger picture, is darker and lighter. So what I may do, let's try this. This looks like it's orange, but the color is actually light flesh. Now this is trial and error. I haven't done this before. This is my first time drawing this giraffe, so yeah, that works. Needs just a little light right in there. Okay. So I'll keep going. I'll do one more. The Conte 032. And I think I'm on my 6th or 7th sharpener. Got another one ordered coming in tomorrow. Maybe I'll love it, hopefully. Okay, I'm gonna switch to that lighter. And I would be doing 2 or 3 layers on this lighter color, but because I did the layer of the pastel earlier in the first video, I'm actually having 2 colors in there. So far it's okay. I'm going to show you. Now, I kind of made a mistake. I brought that down like it was fringe hair. You can take your finger, I'm talking and thinking and not thinking, I guess you'd say, rub over it and it smooths it back out. So we're going to take that hair in the direction of the fur. Now, I'm not perfect. Everybody makes mistakes. If you make a mistake, just smooth it over and try again. And when you get too frustrated with a piece, lay it down and walk away. Come back to it later. Okay, gonna add some orange flavors to it. Make sure as you're putting your strokes in that you're rotating your pencil. It takes just a second to lift your hand and turn it. Turn it a quarter of a circle every few seconds. Keeps the tip balanced, keeps you a sharp point on one side or 2 sides. If you don't, it gets one-sided and you won't get much out of it. Okay. Add a little touch of this burnt sienna. A little warm color. Sometimes I flip my image around and pull toward myself, but it's hard to do in a video. And I love using this magnetic board. Now see, you can see right there that nothing's coming off my pencil. There's a grain in there. And that happens. There is nothing you can do. It'll happen. There, got it. And in case you haven't seen my video that tells you how I came up with this workstation, this is a hospital tray table, not one from a hospital, but it's that style. You can order them online, and I drilled the holes across here to hold my pencils, excuse me. And it was brown. I painted it silver. I like it to look like metal. And then this is a slow process. I'll just keep going. But then I'll show you this. This is the piece of plywood that, say I want to take it outside, I just pick it up and go outside. But I will keep going, and I will come back to you when we start the lower half of this drawing. And I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please subscribe. Again, it helps, because YouTube will then push your video a little bit more than they will if people don't subscribe. So thank you for watching today, and have a wonderful evening.